Hello and welcome back to another week with me. It's me, Kimmy. Welcome back to my channel. This week we are jumping back into the Disney themed makeup looks. I did one 2 weeks back for Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye, and then I wanted to do Pirates of the Caribbean next. I tried to do this last week 2 different times. But the first time I didn't like the way the look turned out, and the second time I had a really bad sinus infection, so half my face looked like it was really weird. So I figured I would call last week a wash and try again this week. But I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. So if you would like to see how I put together this look, as well as how I talk a little bit about Pirates of the Caribbean and its history, then just keep watching. Y'all know the drill. We got contour, bronzer, eyebrows primed, done. I think I might want to bronze just a skosh more because, you know, pirates, they're like in the sun all the time. So take a little of this Tarteist bronzer. Just hit a little more on my forehead. A little more on my cheeks. Yeah, that's more. She's been in the sun. She's been living. Oh, look at that contour. All right. Probably hear my air conditioning behind us. Sorry. So we're just gonna hop right on in. I want to use red, I want to use black, I want to use gold, kind of just taking from the traditional pirates. I just picture the skull with like the crossbones that talks to you before you go down the first hill, and that's kind of where my mind is at. You know, so I'm probably going to use this Makeup Forever red because it's a true red. A lot of reds, like in this, obviously it's a burgundy, but it has a lot of purple undertones to it, which is fine, but I definitely want to keep it more on the true like red spectrum. And I think the Norvina palette has a good red. Yeah, it has a good like true red, so it'll probably be a combination of those two. I think I'm going to start with the Makeup Forever red. I think I'm going to use it with just this fluffier side of the Urban Decay brush, and I'm going to start to pack that all over my lid, so just right along. Let's talk about Pirates, yeah? It debuted in March of '67. It was the last ride that Walt had a big part in. He unfortunately passed away like 3 months after the ride had opened. It was originally supposed to be just like a walk-through, like waxed museum type thing, but obviously with the advancements of the animatronics that they did with like the Lincoln animatronic and just like all the technology that they were using across like the World's Fair, they made the animatronics for Pirates. But obviously one of the best attractions if you just want to take a load off, take a nice like relaxing break from the heat or from the rain or just like busy crowds. Even I found like even if they have a really long line, it's actually like it's still one of the smoothest like wait times, even if there is a wait time. I've never really seen the wait time get above like 30 minutes, but even if it does have a wait, I feel like it moves really quick, and that's because the boats are always moving. I think they have I think they have 50 boats, so it's the throughput on that ride seems like it's pretty good. I didn't look up what the throughput is, but it's always a good ride to visit like middle of the day. It's also a good ride to ride like first thing or like right at the end of the evening when like Fantasmic or the fireworks are going, because you can get on and off like super quick. Even though it's like a big rush of people getting there usually, especially on a weekend, it's one of the best times to get to the park in my opinion, just because you can get a lot of stuff done. And I don't know about anybody else, but you wake up like for work or anything, remember those days? Wake up for work, it's like struggle city, like if you have to be up early. But if you have to be up early for Disney, you just make it work. All right, so I've done quite a few layers of just like packing the shadow on, so I'm gonna lightly kind of softly blend out the edges. just to soften it. I'm actually gonna go on top now with the Norvina, the shade D3, that really bright red in her palette, and just lay that on top just to get that additional build of pigment. And I'm gonna use just like the flat like smudge brush again, but it's still got a little fluff to it. In with that same blending brush. I'm keeping most of the blending like on my eye and then softly bringing it out so that way it's not like too blown out. I'm just starting to soften edges. So now that I've got the red laid down pretty well, I'm going to go ahead and take just this black liner from Essence, which is actually a really great liner. It's super affordable, like really affordable, and this stays in my waterline all day. Anyways, and I'm just going to line my upper lash line. So I'm going to tight line and then line the upper lash line a little bit, and then I'm going to smudge it out. So I may not be in frame for the lining piece. Sorry. So I've lined both eyeballs, not neatly. You don't need to be neat for this part because we're gonna smudge it out. So I'm just gonna take this little tiny smudge brush, you know, you've seen it, I refer to it as tiny all the time, and smudge it out. And so now this is like circa early Kimmy high school. This is used to thick black liner, bright color all over the lid. This is Kimmy in 2006. All right, so now I'm gonna go in with the shade Ink from the Tartiste Pro palette, and I'm gonna kind of lay it right on top to build that intensity a little more and then start to bring it up. So now essentially I've got a smoked out wing on the upper lash line. And so now what I'm going to do is actually go in with a burgundy just on this outer corner to intensify that outer corner even more. So I'm going to go in with Nita Frolic from the Hocus Pocus palette. And I think I'm just going to take it on this tiny little like fluffy brush just on the tip. And I'm going to lay it right on top of the smoked out wing in that outer corner. So doing like the right on top of the wing and then into the crease. So now we've packed on enough color on the outer corner that I'm happy, so I'm going to kind of slowly start to buff some of it in and then in towards the center. Obviously the shape got kind of crazy, but the nice thing is once I do my lower lash line, I'll be able to clean that up with just a little more like concealer. Now I'm just going to go back over that red one more time with that same like flat brush. Pick that vibrancy back up. Alright, so that's where I'm going to stop for the upper lash line. I'm going to go ahead and curl and do mascara, and then we'll come back for the lower lash line and then a touch of something fun.
Later.
So I lined my waterline and I did the mascara. I lined my waterline and then I did mascara on the top. So now I'm going to take the ink shade from this Tarte palette and run that directly across my lower lash line. Figure Pirates, they're known for having, well, at least in the movie, they had like really dark liner. And I'm only going to bring the black like halfway in because I'm going to smudge it out with some of the red. So now I'm going to take the other side of that Urban Decay brush on the Makeup Forever red and run that. So now I'm going to take this little gold glitter. It's a body glitter. And then I'm going to take this from Inglot. It makes anything like a liquid liner or waterproof.
Alright, so I figured I would just come on and do a little voiceover for this part, since apparently I got self-conscious because Josh was in a meeting and I decided I didn't want to talk loud. So basically I mixed the gold glitter with a gold eyeshadow from the Tarteist palette and made this little concoction, and then I'm just taking a really small liner brush and essentially lining at the top of the eyeshadow. With the Inglot Duraline, it does kind of dry a little quickly, so I'm working fast, and I do go over it quite a bit to get the intensity that I'm liking, and then I go back in with the same red eyeshadow just on that flat brush, and I go under it to kind of clean it up and make it a little more crisp and a little more sharp.
Alright, so now for lip, I think I actually want to go dark. Usually I wouldn't, but I think I'm going to go in with the Kat Von D Vampira, and then I'll be right back and we'll wrap this up.
2 hours later.
Alright, actually pretty pleased with the way it turned out. It got a little worrisome when I tried to do the gold, but I feel like it got the effect that I wanted it to do, so it catches the light really nicely. I'll try to do, like, you know, here's the makeup shot, here's the makeup shot. I hope you guys liked this week's video. A couple of people have suggested some stuff for next ones, so I've got those in the works. Hopefully I'll get back to doing an every week thing, but let me know down below if there's any specific Disney themes that you would like to see in the future. Like I said, it could be anything from a theme park ride to Pixar to Marvel to Lucasfilm to classic Disney pictures. So just let me know. I'm having a lot of fun with these. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next week. Bye bye, rich life for me. Drink up, me hearties. Yo ho.